Welcome to a very special episode of California Cooking. I love hosting, especially this time of year, so I thought it'd be fun to have a Friendsgiving. So we're here at the Lombardi House, which is the most beautiful place in Hollywood, and I decided to invite a few friends, some familiar faces I think you'll know. Coming up on the show, I'm gonna make a recipe that has been on my family's Thanksgiving table since I can remember. It's a recipe from my great-great-grandmothers. I'll share that with you. And then this is so special. I get to hang out with Lynette Romero at her home, and her sweet mom. They show us how to make a really spicy addition to the Thanksgiving table. Then my buddy Megan Henderson is gonna join me. She's gonna help me make a really quick appetizer. And Frank Buckley, he's been bragging about these Brussels sprouts for years. He's finally gonna make them for me. First up is a recipe that's really special to me. It is my favorite thing on our Thanksgiving table. Debbie Holmes, my mom, makes what's called Dutch beans. I'll show you how. My favorite side on the Thanksgiving table is Dutch beans. So we don't know why they're called Dutch beans. The rumor is that they might have been Deutsch, as in German beans, and it just got changed to Dutch beans over the years, but it's a recipe that is on every Thanksgiving table. My mom said she actually texted me this recipe that my great-grandmother wrote by hand, and she gave it to my mom before she got married. Bacon is the main ingredient, which, I mean, come on, it's gonna be delicious just because of that. Onion, green beans, and a lot of people are used to that green bean casserole with the mushroom gravy. This, I think, is kind of a new, fresh take on the green beans. So here's what we do. Bacon, I get a full package of just regular bacon, no flavoring, applewood smoke, just your normal straight up bacon. And then you cut it into bite-sized pieces, and we're gonna render the bacon. And so I'm gonna make this recipe for Friendsgiving, and I can't wait to see what they think about it. Bacon is cut. We're gonna put it back on the stove here and brown it. I like it crispy, and then I'm gonna take it out and put in the onion. These are the green beans I use. Just cut green beans, frozen, 2 bags. I add a little bit of salt to the green bean water because I want the green beans to get a little bit of flavor. So I add some salt to the water, and then these go in. While the bacon is browning, I'm gonna cut up 1 large onion, and I'm gonna try not to cry. Just get them bite-sized. They're not too big. I'm gonna take the bacon out before I add these. Oh yeah, now we're talking. I wanna render all the fat out so that you don't get any of those flabby pieces of bacon. So I'm gonna get them where they're crispy and brown. And then I'm gonna take them out and put in the onion. But I wanna leave the bacon grease in because that's what we're gonna cook the onion in. Onion's coming over, and hot grease, woo! If you thought it smelled good before, now we've got onion and bacon cooking together. Oh, I caught my board on fire. Is it flaming? Is it flaming? I caught my board on fire. Ah. Crisis averted, I think. My poor board. I knew I smelled something. I'm scraping all the bits off the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to the onions, about a teaspoon. All right, and we just let those get soft and translucent. And I have to have some. Right, you can't have a plate of bacon and not taste a little bit of it. Ooh, hot. You almost test these like you would pasta, where you start to check on the doneness. You don't want your beans to get too soft. Yeah, I went a little al dente. So you put some flour in there to thicken it because we're gonna add vinegar. Okay, let the flour taste cook out. When you add flour to things, you want it to cook a bit because you don't want to taste that floury, pasty thing going on. Brown sugar. You could do white sugar too. I'm gonna do brown sugar. I'm gonna do a heaping tablespoon. Start there. We work it in. I feel like a mad scientist when I make these because I'm adding, tasting. All right, the beans are done. The vinegar is the next step. White, basic vinegar. You could do apple cider, but I'm gonna stick to this. It's kind of a purist for me. This is what my great grandmother would have used, okay. And I just go to town. I keep adding. Look how thick that's gotten, okay? So now we're gonna add liquid from the green beans. But first, let me get these babies in. A spider really helps, that's what this gadget's called, getting these green beans out. Okay, we take the green bean water and we add it to create a gravy in here. Now we add the crispy bacon. I've eaten about a quarter of it, but there's still enough to go into the recipe, so we add that in at the last minute, and you don't want to add it in while you're still cooking everything else, because then it'll get soft. It's nice and crispy, and then just mix it up. I love Dutch beans. I hope you try them at your Thanksgiving table this year. And I'm so excited for Friendsgiving because I'm bringing these. And I'm always a little nervous if people are gonna like what I make, but I hope they will. And Frank Buckley, he's making his famous Brussel sprouts. So we'll see. Do they like my green beans or Frank's Brussel sprouts? 40 years later, I've been eating those green beans and I still love them just as much. Thanks, Mom, for the recipe. And if you want to go to ktla.com/cooking and get another Holmes family recipe, it's my mom's mashed potatoes, but there's something special in them. I'll show you how to do that. Coming up, Megan Henderson joins me and we whip up a quick appetizer. Then, I finally learn how to make Frank Buckley's world-famous Brussels sprouts. But first, Lynette Romero and her sweet mom show me how to make their family recipe for gravy that has a spicy take on it. Next up, I get to go to Lynette Romero's house and cook with her mom, and they make a recipe that many of us maybe haven't seen on a Thanksgiving table. It is a spicy gravy. Take a look. I'm so excited to be in your kitchen.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you in my kitchen.
Oh my gosh, with Mama Vi.
With Mama Vi, here she is.
Hi, Mama.
She's Grandma Vi here, but we
Yeah.
yes.
This shocked me a little because I know you, and I know you've told me in the past, I don't cook. David cooks. You have a gorgeous kitchen, and it's not your thing.
It's not my thing. It's never been my thing. My mom's a great cook.
Yeah.
But I was a cheerleader. I was in, honor society and class president.
Right.
I did all these other things. So I would come home and there would be a little plate with tinfoil over it, and I would eat.
And that was your
9 o'clock at night.
Thanksgivings for you guys, what was that like?
So everybody would come to Mom's, and she would cook everything. She would have the turkey going first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
She kind of wanted to, she does the best mashed potatoes. Her stuffing is to die for.
Right.
She would cook the chili for every holiday. For any time we get together as a big family, we always have either red chili or green chili.
So this is holidays for you, this
is holidays.
recipe.
This is home.
Wow. I'm so over the moon that you're going to share this with us because I love you and I love your family. So show us what you got.
So this is red chili.
Okay.
So this is pork that we have chopped up kind of in little squares for stew.
Yeah.
The first thing we need to do is, and I'll let you do this because you're so good at it, is we want to get about 5 or 6 of the cloves of the garlic.
Got it.
So somebody told me a cool way to do this and I can't remember. There's a way, right?
Well, okay,
Don't you
so
smack it?
you slam it. Really, you could just take this and just do, and then everything just.
Oh, you know who
kinda-
that somebody was?
Who?
That was Jessica Holmes on California Cooking.
Was that a setup? Do you think other families do the chili for Thanksgiving, or is this?
I don't know. Is
your
this
family?
just our family, or is it a Colorado thing? Is it a Mexican thing? Who does red chili for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
The mother?
Do other families do it?
Yeah.
You think?
They all do.
What I liked, you said the best thing to put it on at the Thanksgiving table or Christmas table is the mashed potatoes. Yeah.
That's our gravy, is the chili.
Right, right.
So
Okay, we
here
got
is
our
all the garlic. So we're going to use our molcajete. And we're going to put salt in it.
Okay. A good fat pinch, do you think?
A lot of salt, more.
Okay.
Mas, masi, masi, mas. Mas, mas. So what you want to do is create like a little paste.
Yes. Bueno red chili, hot. So this is gonna be spicy, Lynette.
A little bit.
Yeah. I'm putting it into the bowl
Yeah.
with the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're gonna add water anyway, and then that'll soften it. And then you kind of, it's really frozen, but you just kind of,
Let it do its thing.
yeah, let it do its thing. And then you're gonna mix in that garlic. You can go ahead and put the garlic in, the salt. So now we just kind of mix all that paste. Okay, so it's pretty much good to go.
Okay. So there's a good amount of salt in there, a good amount of garlic, and the chili.
And then we take our meat. You wanna grab that meat?
Let's grab the meat.
We'll put the meat in.
Okay, so this is, now did you buy it already chopped up?
No.
Or you bought?
And the best thing to do with that meat, go ahead,
Okay.
is when you, oh, you have that. When you, I like to take off as much of the fat as possible. My mom will tell you to keep the fat in because you need that grease,
Yeah.
right? So now what we want to do is move all of this.
Is there a lot of liquid in there?
There's a little bit, Mom.
Okay, there's a little liquid. What should we do, Vi? Is that okay?
Yeah, let it evaporate.
Okay.
My mom does, she's really good at it. She just moves the meat to the side and then she browns the flour. So that's what we have to do now. Then you put a little bit of flour. And I only know how much flour to use because of a spoon, a wooden spoon that my mom had. She would use two. And I don't have that wooden spoon, so you just kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
And she moves it like that and just lets it sit until it gets cooking. Mom, I'm gonna put this in there, yeah? Okay, go ahead, put it in real quick. Now we're cooking, kid. And then we put the chili in there before I saw it starting to, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that yet. I was supposed to put the meat in. Oh, crud.
It's okay.
Oh, crud, you're supposed to put the meat. Oh! We'll have to put the meat in now, huh? Right away. Because you're supposed to kind of brown the meat with the flour.
That's all right.
More water.
This is relatable. I think many kitchens on Thanksgiving Day are like, oh, crud. Did you say crud?
Did
Oh,
I?
crud. I like that.
So what will happen is the flour will continue to thicken and
Yeah.
thicken and thicken. We want to cover it and bring it back to a boil. I think it's time. Ready to
It's
try
time.
it?
Let's serve it up.
Okay.
Now, this is what Lynette said is the best thing to serve it on is some mashed potatoes. So I'm going to serve us up a scoop. And we're going to enjoy. Wow.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay, it's hot.
You want to try it? It's gonna be hot. You like it?
That is so delicious. It is so good.
That's yummy, huh?
Love you guys. Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Bye. Thank you for sharing.
Dale besitos.
Mwah. Look, I'm a huge fan of turkey gravy, but that spicy gravy was so good, I may have to have both this year. Thanks, Lynette. Coming up, Frank Buckley is finally going to show me how to make those world-famous Brussels sprouts of his. But first, Megan Henderson is going to join me to help set up for this fabulous Friendsgiving, and we're going to make a quick, easy appetizer. As many of you know, Megan Henderson, not only do we work together, but we're also really good friends. We hang out a lot outside of work. So I decided to ask her to come early to help me set up for this Friendsgiving, and we get in the kitchen and make a quick appetizer. Okay, Megan, we're in the kitchen at the Lombardi house. We are gonna make a very easy appetizer.
I love easy.
1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients.
Perfect.
This is all you need.
Okay.
And I love a cheese tray, but cheese trays can be boring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, what if we took a wheel of brie,
Love.
okay?
Yes.
And then we make a walnut honey rosemary topping.
Oh my gosh, that's
So it gets ooey gooey.
okay.
So this is a little tricky because you don't want to waste too much of the cheese. You just peel this off as best you can. Now, Meg, we're gonna toast some walnuts.
Okay.
And they, you know, they toast up pretty fast. So we'll just stick them in the skillet, let them do their thing. They also can burn quickly.
Right. That's where you have extra walnuts on hand.
And
just
that's
in case.
so true. I said, should I buy how much I need or should I double the amount? So the rosemary, I always think rosemary is holiday. It makes you kind of think of Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I am gonna chop some up. And you don't, because they're spriggy like that, you want it to be tiny. You don't
Okay.
want a big chunk of
Right.
rosemary.
It's more the flavor.
I did about a half a sprig.
It smells so good.
Just don't want it to overwhelm everything else. So we got that chopped up. So I think the best thing to invest in, and my favorite world market or Home Goods, any of those stores, is get a board.
This is such a great idea.
Whether it be your cutting board at home, but a piece of wood that you can use for a cheese tray or to present really any appetizer.
Because it really is useful for so many different things.
And usually I just use my cutting board, but I went and bought this special because I like the round shape and the breeze round. But I use this all the time to make cheese trays. And I think what's fun when you pair a cheese tray with different little nibbles. So figs right now, look at how gorgeous
They're
those
so
figs are. The
beautiful.
color.
And I think it's one of the, it's fruit. One
Yeah.
of those fruits that you don't really eat a lot of, so
No.
it elevates it a little bit.
And they only come out a certain time of year, I
Right.
think is part of the reason. So I thought those would be a really pretty addition. I went and got, these are rosemary almonds.
They're Marcona
Almonds from
right?
Trader Joe's.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's where you find them. So they do taste differently than the
They do,
traditional.
I think they do. And then I've got some apricots, some dried apricots. You could do grapes, you could do strawberries. Really, there's no wrong move here. And then I just got a little dish of assorted olives.
Perfect. Again, like Trader Joe's, you can get it somewhere like that. So
And so that kind of rounds out our whole thing.
I love this.
All right, let's check on our walnuts. They are getting, yeah, I'm starting to see the brown. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it off.
Okay.
Here's what's gonna go down. We're gonna put in the rosemary because we wanna toast that a little.
So you add it to the nuts.
Yeah, we add it in the pan, but I've really turned off the heat at this point. Now, the honey.
Oh, so you do this on the pan.
Do it in the pan and just put enough in here where it creates a little sauciness, okay? And because the residual heat has got it sizzling in there. So I'm gonna do the pour, you ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to get it in the center.
I have faith. Oh, that is beautiful. And it's gonna melt the cheese.
It's gonna melt the cheese. And it hopefully will stay in there because the rind is still on.
That's-
Ta-da!
I love this.
We're done, Meg.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Do you want to add some crackers?
Yeah, so I just got a couple of fun crackers.
Okay,
I've got
here you
fig
go.
and olive crisp, a little pita bite.
Oh my
do you
goodness.
think?
I think this is beautiful. Do I get to sample
Yeah,
it?
sample
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
So you would
Help
serve
you out.
this with just a little cheese knife
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the messiest bite
No,
ever.
that's good. I'll get your crumb.
It's brilliant. It's
Glad you
brilliant.
like
I
it.
love
Okay.
this.
So we're gonna take it in and everybody can nibble on this before the
I'm
meal.
gonna love it.
So happy Megan liked it. Can't wait for everybody else to try it too. Next up, Frank Buckley's Brussels sprouts. Frank, I never thought I'd be in the kitchen with Frank.
This is such a joy for you, isn't
It's
it?
such a joy for
And
me.
you've never heard me talk about the Brussels sprouts.
You know, maybe 100 times, give or take. But I'm so happy that you're going to cook not just for me, for all of your colleagues.
Yes.
So they're a tough crowd.
There's a bit of anticipation.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
here's the wonderful thing. The Brussels sprouts are so easy to make. I happen to get all of the things at Trader Joe's. Brussels sprouts in a bag, whole Brussels sprouts, some little bit of onion. This is too much, but I'll show you how much.
Okay.
And then I use this little pancetta that comes in this little thing,
Yeah.
which is an Italian, funny, fancy Italian word for baked bacon,
Right,
basically.
basically.
Little salt and pepper, and then little olive oil. So those are our ingredients.
Okay.
So we just throw these bad boys right in the bag. You don't have to puncture a hole, anything like that. So you put you try not to burn yourself. And then it says 2 to 3 minutes. I just do the full 3 minutes, boom. And then we hit start. Okay, so 3 minutes. And then it softens up the Brussels sprouts. You gotta soften them up.
Now, while the Brussels sprouts are softening, do you throw the pancetta into the pan, or do you do the Brussels sprouts?
Well, no, what I do first is I get a little bit of the onion,
Okay.
so, you know, just enough for a little flavor. Maybe a little hand.
Olive oil?
Yeah, olive oil into
Okay.
the pan, please, so that we
Don't
sort of
stick.
season and we, yeah.
How's that?
So you can do that, perfect, that's
Okay.
perfect. And then we just throw the onion right in there. And we just,
Your spatula. Some salt, if you need.
all right, so after 3 minutes in the microwave, we're gonna take the Brussels sprouts out, and they just come out like this. It's sort of, you know, a big thing, and they've been softened now. So then we just throw them on there, and we cut that bad boy open. There we go. And we get them out. You try not to burn your hands, and you pour them out, and you start chopping in half. And what I like to do is cut them in half. Oh!
Oh,
It's a joke. It's a little
I
joke
fell
there.
for it. How did I fall for that?
I didn't cut myself, but that would have been funny,
That
huh?
would have been.
I've chopped them all in half. They're all nice and soft, and so we just literally just dump them in there.
Yeah.
You saute. You know, if you need a little more olive oil, you might throw in some olive oil.
Yeah.
But you just kind of let it go. Because what?
Get them a little brown.
Yeah, what you want to do is brown the Brussels sprouts. I don't put the pancetta in till close to the end. See how it's browning? We get the little brown parts. All right, so now I think that we're about browned enough, Jess.
Yeah.
And the pancetta really adds something, right? Because people don't want just
Plain.
Brussels sprouts. So you just dump them in there. Boom.
Does this make its way onto the Thanksgiving table?
Almost every year is on the Thanksgiving table at the Buckley house.
Now, what is a favorite dish of yours, let's say your mom makes?
Oh, I think my mom makes the best mashed potatoes and gravy.
Does she?
Yeah, really nice. Now we're gonna go a little salt and then a little pepper. And this is the toughest part, putting them into a beautiful thing. Boom!
Boom.
Happy Thanksgiving! Friendsgiving!
Emerald said bam, you say boom.
Boom!
Thanks for being here. I can't wait to try it. We'll see what the table thinks. Boom, that was so much fun. Thank you to Frank for sharing his recipe. I think he really likes this cooking thing. That does it for us. I hope you join us for our next episode. Our Friendsgiving celebration continues. We sit down, have a meal, great conversation, and count our blessings. Hope you join us.